What up? She will. Yeah. Okay, Shawty know she back. Shawty know she right. I'ma give it this pipe. It's gonna be a long night.
I love that smile. Gotta have it every week. Thank you, cousin. Yeah. Conversations in Crete with Sweet Mama G here this Friday. Always look forward to it. Shouts out to Samantha Phillips for subscribing. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. How you doing, cousin? Oh, you gonna do the frozen screen thing on me? You got me.
You got on my daggone nerves.
You did get me on that one. I'm not even gonna lie. I really thought that the screen was frozen.
Oh, one of my coworkers. Plus, she subscribed. I was just out again.
Matter of fact, cuzzy, this is what we got to do this week. And I meant to tell you last week, but we're going to make sure we do it this week. Shouts out to brother-in-law just pulling up in the building. What's up, brother-in-law? What's going on? What's up, Baylana? How you doing? Pulling up in the building. Weekly supporter. Living life with Spice shirts. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now, cuzzy, what we're going to do this week to make sure we get those subscribers up on Living Life with Spice channel, I'm going to need you to get into the what do you call it? You know how you get into the comments so they can click on your channel, because a lot of people couldn't get to your channel. It was popping up as something else. Yeah, red hat heat tonight. That's what I'm talking about, brother-in-law. All right, so the topic is good relationship, stuck relationship. So we're going to kick it off. But before we kick it off, we got let Sweet Mama G do what she do. All right, so, cuzzy, it's a lot of relationships going on today, for the longest time. Let me get to my thing here. And, I'm gonna read you what I put together. Today's couples and relationships are different, and are any of us in particular to blame about the relationships that's going on? We've had decades of dating and marriages to go back and to take a look at. I know that wasn't much, but can you agree with that, cuz?
Decades, long decades.
Okay. Now, we have Miss Marla Hayes in the building. What's up, Miss Marla? How you doing? Thank you for popping in. Shouts out to Miss Christina coming in the building. Said I'm a 5. Thank you, Miss Christina. And she said good evening. And then Miss Marla said she's a 4.5. Those are still good numbers. What's wrong, cousin?
Look at the next comment, Miss Christina. TMI girl.
She said, what'd she say? I got some today, so I'm definitely a 5. Is XL out of town?
No, he ain't. We over here.
Amen.
But I wanted to do hood stuff for my friend.
Okay, all right. Whoa. All right, cousin. Anyway, so did you have a problem with what I just read?
Nope.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that you agree with me when I say today's couples and relationships are and any of us in particular to blame the way relationships are today?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So now let me take it to this. Why do you think that we're, what do you think of the states of relationships are today?
Trash.
Okay. Why would you say a lot of the relationships today are trash?
People say they want relationships, but do they truly want relationships, or they want situationships when it's convenient for them?
Oh, okay. Okay. So they going off in the comments.
I ain't saying nothing.
Woo. All right. So here's my thing. You said something that was very important, and that people use that term all the time today, and that be situationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that relationships have now been recognized as situationships?
So The old definition of relationships is no longer. It's when it's however you want it now. You know, you had a certain standard how relationships used to go. Now a situation, okay, I'm with this person for this reason. Today I'm with Joe Blow. Tomorrow I'm with this one the next day, and they all combine, but I'm not committing because typically in a relationship, suppose as we thought was committed relationships, what society deems. You know, we always go off what society deems, not what we deem. Um, and Miss J said, excellent question at SMG. People want convenient shit, not commitment. That's what I said. No commitment. So I could see this guy today, give him a little calls in, we go out, we might get us some. Like some folk get us some, and then but it's no title, and they don't want a title, and don't rush us too soon for titles. We need to learn to be friends. Then we want you, let's be friends first, and say, okay, let's build on our friendship. So now we friends with benefits, and then you take you around, and now they done found somebody else. You might become the side piece. It's a lot of different components that's in and out with people. So say, I want you, you want me, let's be us. Nope. Well, you know, I'm not really looking for a relationship, but why you in a relationship conversation, show, online, however it want to be? Because people not truly committed to saying, or they may say they want a relationship, but they're not putting actions to words.
Okay. Miss Christina said friends with benefits. And then also during the level up, coach said that is because there is no game plan for family and life partner.
Can I ask a question?
Shouts out to Dern. Huh?
Everybody keep telling me be nice. Am I doing something? What's going on here?
I don't know,
Everybody
but I'm
telling
gonna
me be
say
nice.
this.
What I'm doing, Lord?
I'm gonna say this.
What I'm doing?
And Miss J said, good point, Darren, the level up coach. Very true. So here's my thing. Okay, when you have a situationship, right? Who is it usually? Is it usually the guy with the situationship or the woman with the situationship?
You know, it used to be men, but women are the masters of all rule of the world. We rule in situations, how people move, what's the stipulations of the relationships, times, dates. Is it going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday? Going to be involved my kids? It's not going to be involved. We're going to have another party. We're not going to have a party. I'm only going to see you sometime. You can see me at the house or Netflix and chill, but you can't go to the family function. That's Joe Blow, or I'm taking my home girl because I don't want people to know that you trash or you're not good enough for me, but I want to do the shake 'em ups with you. So it's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And I think because, as we talked about earlier, women, I'm going to say that, we're more independent. We're not looking to strive just to get married because we want somebody to take care of us. We can do that ourselves now. So we don't have to jump into a relationship just to be married, just for somebody to take care of us. So now we out here just doing whatever.
Okay. Well, we have Miss Marla Hayes said both. And also we have Miss J said Crete, it's both these days. So what they were doing, they were answering my question, right? And it's the reason for that. I'm glad that you said that, sweet cousin, because it is a lot of women. A lot of women are uncertain. I get that because so much then happened over the years between women and men, and they're afraid to take the leap. I get it. But a lot of times it's the men. And the reason why I say it's the men as well is because men are usually the heads of relationships. And when they're the head of the relationship, and if they get failed, they may have been trying to, stay in a committed relationship and keep everything on point, looking to get married, have kids and everything. And let's just say if he did go and get married, right? And unfortunately, the marriage end. 9 times out of 10, it's the woman who ended the marriage. And uncertainty. That's uncertainty right there. Let me read this to you. Okay. We have here like dating and marriage stats, right? Some 62% Americans age 25 to 54 live with a partner or were married, according to a 2001 Pew Research Center study of 2019 in the U.S. Census Bureau data. This included 53% who were married and 9% who were cohabitating. That's well below the 71% of couples who lived together in 1990, with 67% of marriages. Well, they were 67% married and 4% cohabitating. So marriages went way down. They went way down. So we have to pay attention to that. And guess what? Unfortunately, it's women who's leading the point of marriage going down. A lot of times, again, it's the fellas' fault because they're not standing up and being men and leading like they're supposed to. But sometimes women start to lead and then they want to leave. So that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Miss Marla Hayes said, because some men play games. Women play games too. Did I need the 5 minute, cousin, or myself? Miss Christina said,
you answer your own question.
You want to, because I sounded like you on that one.
Everybody playing games. You know, people say they want relationships and they just don't put the energy or the effort into it. You know, say, oh yeah, I'm like this person. Oh well, did you tell the person that no, and you feel like it? I don't even feel like I got other stuff to do that's more important. You know what I'm saying? They be like, oh well,
Right.
you know, I kind of like they look good or whatever. Like, nah, never mind. I got stuff to do.
Well, let me ask you this. Can you read Miss Christina?
Women play games too. Amen.
Yes. My bad, cousin.
Amen.
Now, what about we got DJ XL in the building? What's going on, XL? What's going on? Let me hold on 1 second. And we have Baylana said, Miss J, men too have lost that trust. Yes, big time lost the trust. And we're gonna dig into that too. We also have DJ XL said that was pre-social media days. Okay. Then during the level up, coach said, what about compatible with lifestyle? Which is very important. DJ XL also said, you want to read XL, cousin?
Was it no DMs that slide into pre-Yahoo AOL?
Right. And then Baylana said, XL in the building, laugh out loud. Yeah. He was already in the building from what I understand.
But I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
It was something I was gonna say on that, but let's get to Miss Marla Hayes. Miss Marla?
Yes.
You wanted to contribute something to the show?
Yeah, I was just want to say about some men's control women is that, for instance, not trying to put my business out there, but in the same common sense that I was with my son's father for 11 and a half years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the states of which is Kansas was was a common law state or whatever. But my thing is my son's father would just try to control me because he never sees my work, you know what I'm saying? And he always, if we was doing tasks together or if I was going to school, like some men would not step up to be in that kid's life, because I was very hands-on with my son, and some men just don't want to do that at all. They just want to have a baby and let the woman take care of the kids. And I just don't understand why some men would, do that. You know what I'm saying? If you was not prepared to have, he already had, like, my son's his second kid or whatever. But I'm like, if you're not prepared to have a kid, why would you waste my time, and my energy or whatever? And, if you was not ready, why you would control me. It's just some men I just don't understand it. They want everything in a book, but not a relationship. And he was seeing other women on the side, and I just don't understand. Like, some of y'all men don't understand what do y'all want in life. Even though, because my son father was not older than me, he was about 9.5 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, dude, if you don't know what you want in life, why are you wasting my time? So I just don't get it.
Okay, let me ask you this: what did you see in him at first for y'all to even get together?
Well, he was a sweet person in the beginning, and like I said, I've been in domestic violence before, before him and after him, and it just some men would play or insult your intelligence because they think they have the right to control your mind, and especially, like I said, well, I think that was last week when I was cutting up. But my point is, they will play if you, especially you're a weak-minded person or you grew up in foster care or whatever you've been through in life. Some men would just play on that downfall and insult your intelligence. So I just, I had loved him so many years that I just like, dude, and I was like, I used to tell his mom all the time, I was like, if I know how to take it, I really did. It's like, I think I forgot it was either Mama G or Miss J, but, at the beginning, I didn't have no income at the time, but, he was taking care of me, but he didn't never want to split the money in half. It's like, well, my daughter's father, every time we do taxes now, we split it down the middle, but I just didn't understand why my son probably want to do that. So some kids just want to control you and, or either wherever you went through in life, they want to throw that. It's like, say, for instance, like me, I got molested when I was younger. And, some is like, oh, you got a molested, and your mama did this, your mama did that. But at the same time, at the same breath, why would you throw that in my face? You know what I'm saying? And,
Right.
Or either your parents died or whatever. And I just like, that's why I'm so guarded. And just people just don't understand why I'm so hard. But, I'm very a sweet person. But until you take me to a different level, then that's just what it is.
Okay. I guess I was asking, and I mean, thank you for sharing that, but I was asking, and you did answer some of that, but how was he when you first met him? Were y'all friends, or did you know of him or know him before y'all got together?
No, like I said, I'm not going to put my business out there, and I know this was a good show.
Mm.
I met him through a chat line, the light chat line, the phone numbers you be seeing there, like Vibe line and all that stuff. We met on there.
Okay. All right. Before I continue on that, we have actually, this is a pretty good comment. Say at the start of a relationship, we meet the person's representative. Over time, we usually figure out they aren't who they put forward and we leave. But during the pandemic, we were locked down with that person and we were stuck. Then hustlers came around with their PPP loan scams and jammed us up even more. It's a lot of truth to that. Now, so when you met him, so you just didn't know of him. You like, I mean, I'm just making this up. Like you were out and you met him, and y'all met him, and you met him and you started talking to him. Is that how that happened? Okay. So
I mean, we got on the phone, and it's for free on the women's side, but you have to sometimes, you have to eventually pay for the men's side. But basically, he gave me his phone number, very quickly because you got so many minutes to talk to a woman, and some women be on there for different reasons. But I was actually just got her out of foster care. Long story short, got her foster care, and I was trying to find love. But to answer your question, basically what I'm saying is that I gave him my number at that time,
And that's when it
and
started.
yeah,
Okay.
basically, yeah.
Did you take the time out to find out about his parents?
Well, I know me and his mother is very close because me and her we like 5 days apart. Both our birthdays in September, and I really don't know his biological father, but the guy who pretty much raised him, I know of him, and I see him. But yeah, I did take out to answer your question. I did take out that me his parents.
Now, when you check out the parents, that means a lot. I always tell my sons and daughter, and all that, and that's so important. You need to look at how he was structured. How was he programmed? You see what I'm saying? Coming up. So
I would say, not trying to cut you off, to just concrete, but I would say that I didn't see so much how he was treating his mother, you know what I'm saying? And nobody, in his family did not warn me about him, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, he did not want me to have a relationship with his first baby mama, because I guess he would think that she gonna tell me some things about him, and he was not accepting it at all.
And see, that's the thing. If we could all do that, things would be so different. Because if you could go,
I the signs, but I just ignored it, and not trying to cut you off again. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, but unfortunately, that's where a lot of the repercussions come when we ignore certain things like that. And sometimes, if you can find out how he was in the previous relationship, but honestly, because sometimes people will lie. You see what I'm saying? If you can find out honestly, that's the way to do it. But then also the parents, you need to check out the parents. I'm telling you, that is big deal. Trust me.
Well, I didn't just see it because like I said, his mother, I guess, he told his mother don't tell me certain things, but I kind of figured out on my own. Once I left her, because when I left her, left St. Louis, period, I was about 18 or 19 years old. And, like I said, I was just freshing out of foster care, and I was just trying to find, at that time, but I know what I want now, but at that time, I was just trying to find any kind of love at that time. And I thought, eventually, I was pretty much common law married to him. He could tell me I'm alone right now, but it's just like, dude, it's like right now, and not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to put my business on air, but he just don't want to do anything for our son. It's like he was telling our son to tell me things, cussing me out and all this kind of stuff. And my son is 8 years old. Well, he was 7 and 6 and 5 years old at that time. And I'm like, dude, why would you tell our son that? Be disrespectful at the same time, but you don't want to take care of your responsibility. I'm like, I'm doing everything in my power on my own. And it was like, that's what I said. I didn't have, and I'm mentioning my bad behavior last week, but that's why I said to Christina, I did not have to steal from you, but you act like, I ever lied to you before. And, it just put me in that mindset, people, use people and they come up with any kind of excuse and just don't care at all.
Right. Now, how we have Miss Mimi said he is a weak-minded boy, not a man.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Yeah, and so, but how was your support system? As far as you coming up, I mean, did you have?
I had a loving parent, until my mom let a man molest me. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So, and my father was trying to get me when I was younger. Bless his soul. And you say you are father, but happy early Father's Day to you.
Oh, thank you.
But my dad, I just realized my dad been gone for like 13 years. And, I was straight up a dedicator. I was very heartbroken. I was around when he passed because I was in foster care. But, I could imagine, if I will find out later in life that he passed. I had loving parents.
Right.
Like for example, right now, like I tell my mom that, I could not leave my kids with her,
Right.
but, she can't see him and spend time with them in my presence. But outside of my presence, no, because especially that I ain't my daughter, that would put me in the mindset, even though that stuff happened when I was about 9 or 10 years old. But I could imagine, if my child or both of my kids, left around with my mom by herself,
Right.
and she tried to gain that relationship back, but it's kind of too late because I had that mindset, you know, I would never forget, what happened, but at the same time, I know this kind of hearted, but I wish God would not took my father. He should have took my mother. I'm not trying to be hard on my mother, but my mama, every time even you talk to her on the radio or anything, you ask her, it was like, okay, what happened to Marla when she was younger? And she would tell you in a heartbeat, like, well, it's so painful. Like, no, you owe me an apology, for your wrongdoing. You was messing with the wrong crowd.
Right.
But it's just what it is,
Now,
And
let me ask you this, and it's odd because, well, it's not odd, but Miss Amelia actually popped up in the comment section and was
mhm.
asking or saying the same thing that I was about to ask you. Have you had a chance to seek any therapy yet in reference to all of this?
Well, I did when I was younger, when I was in foster care. But I ball up and so interesting. I have a big heart actually.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do like I say, for instance, my son's father,
Mm-hmm.
he did me wrong so much times. Put me out in the cold. He didn't want me to talk to nobody, his family members, and it's like not being funny. I know it's childish on my part of what I'm about to say, but I download a text me now number and it's pretty much generate a number and you pick up error code. But I put the same error code, which Kansas error code is a 913 error code.
Mm-hmm.
But I pretty much break it off and asked him. He didn't know it was me or whatever, but I asked him, it's like, what happened to you and your son father? I mean, you and your son, your baby, between you and your baby mother. And pretty much, long story short, he wanted to say that, uh, in the beginning, our relationship was good. I think different otherwise, but whatever. Um, but it seemed like it really went downhill with after my son was born, you know.
Okay.
But I don't believe in therapy because everybody try to help me and, they always like, what this happened like about 20 or 10 years ago. And I'm like, dude, I can't get over it because sometimes I still get that trauma. I don't care who it is, and that's why I don't have a lot of female friends or male friends like that because I stay to myself. And then once I do get them friends or whatever, I try to cherish them. But the other equal of me goes left sometimes. But I mean, I'm open to therapy, but it's not going to help.
Let, let, let me
I
let
know
me
it's going to help, but not.
let me say this though. I'm gonna say this now. With you saying that,
Hmm.
literally, and you seem like a very good person. You do, but I also see the part that you have to release in your life. I've even heard it last week, but I can hear it now, like in your voice. I've heard somebody say that, and it always made this mark in my life. And this has nothing to do with you, believe me. Yeah, it's not. I
Yeah.
had somebody tell me that was supposed to be so spiritual and so this tell me that therapy does not work. Therapy is here for a reason. It's here
Yes,
for a
I
reason.
believe that too.
And you got to
But I
remember with what you're dealing with, you're not just going to go into therapy once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and it works. Sometimes it takes years, but you have to be
I
dedicated and want to be able to accept that so that you can heal.
I would say I did that for years when I was in foster care. I tried to deal because I was in foster care from uh because I was in foster care twice in different occasions. One was with my biological mother, and one was with my adopted mother. The originally therapy, they tried to put me in therapy, but it took years. You know, like I said, it was years because I was in foster care the first time from '99 to 2001, I believe, because I was about 10 or 11 years old.
Okay.
And that's when my adopted mother had adopted me when I was 12. But I try to go to therapy and try to release, but everybody think I was crazy. And, for a minute, my mom thought, I was just making up stuff. But like I said, I still can visualize that man. Like I said,
You
I'm not racist or anything.
you talking about the
And,
man who caused that trauma?
yes.
Okay.
And, and that's why I said I went from last week, not digressing a little bit, but that's why I said I hate some white people. You know what I'm saying? My mama always taught me don't look at, whoever it is, white, purple, green, or whatever, a color to it. But that's why I said, that's why I was so freaking angry with Christina last week because, like I said, I had to prove my point when I was coming up. Everybody thought I was not smart enough or anything, but I'm gonna call back in. My boyfriend's calling me.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And we'll be right here.
Okay.
All right. So, Cuzzy, can you read Miss Amelia's comment?
Miss Amelia. Marla Hayes, you are dealing with trauma of your own. You should go to therapy.
And then we have Miss J. Can you read that one?
Miss Marla, I am so sorry about what you went through. I noticed you answered your own question. You ignored the warning signs and moved forward with unanswered questions.
All right. Um, and unfortunately, and a lot of times, myself, you, sweet mama, everybody on this panel, um, and even my ex-wife. It may have been signs about me. I don't know, right? But us as humans, we ignore signs. We do, and sometimes those signs be the ones that come back and bite us.
Mm-hmm.
And we just have to pay attention and deal with these experiences because you can't look at them as like I shouldn't have did this or did that. It's an experience. So look at it as a learning experience and leave it there. It's a lot of people that have been touched um, unwillingly. And it's so sad. It is so sad to know how many monsters that are out here walking, that are our neighbors, walking the streets and everything that's really messing up good women and good men, good people. And it's really unfortunate, but definitely, I'm telling you, I've heard it before where they said therapists don't work, and they do. They're here for a reason. They get taught for a reason, these special gifts. So, I mean, I hate to hear that. And I'm hoping that she goes back. I need therapy. I'll take it. Think I'm crazy. I'll take it. But I'll take that therapy. Give it here. Um, Miss Mimi say good night, everyone. Happy Father's Day to the men. Thank you so much. Um, Now, Cuzzy, did you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I do not, Creeds.
Okay. All right. All right. Cuzzy, running.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now we're gonna go here as far as sexless marriage/relationships.
Oh, goodness.
We are at a 30-year low for sex.
Mm.
26% of Americans ages 18 and up didn't have sex once over the past 12 months, according to
Amen.
the 2021. She is all up in that conversation. Amen and everything,
Listen,
ain't you?
I'm listening.
Jeez. Then, um, you know, according to the 2021 General Social Survey, you might think that this is just a pandemic effect, but it's a part of a long-term trend. The 2 years with next highest percentage of adults saying they didn't have sex once in the past year were 2016, 23%, and 2018, 23%. The last two time, the last two times the survey was conducted before 2004, the highest percentage of Americans who said they hadn't had sex in the past year was 19%. Hold on
Mm.
1 second. Thank you for calling Conversations of Crete with Sweet Mama G. We asked is calling.
Marlon, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for coming back. So they hadn't had sex in the past year was 19%. The
Mm.
last year's survey was also the first time the percentage of Americans who had sex once a month or less topped 50%. In 1989, 35% of American adults had sex once a month or less. Answer that, Sweet Mama G.
I can't answer because I'm on the survey.
Because I see my grandma do it.
You on the survey? Why are you on the survey, cousin?
Because I am. All them numbers, I was in there somewhere.
Well,
Sure.
remember the name of this show or this topic of this show is good relationship, stuck
Stuck.
relationship, right?
Yeah.
That's another reason why relationships get stuck because some like sexless marriages. Who would want to be married and then run into that problem? That's another reason why a lot of men are choosing to say, okay, I'm stuck right here. If I'm good. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to get married and then have to be stuck with that and be a part of those statistics because it could easily happen.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times, television is the culprit. Social media is the culprit.
Pornography.
Pornography is the culprit. You know, so there's a lot of things going on there. And like, if y'all gonna split, and really, when you get married, you're not supposed to split. You're supposed to stay right there. But the American way and the way things are going now, people think it's a luxury to get married and then also have the luxury of divorce. That is that. I mean, that's just not right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I prefer to be married, but I'm not married, and it is what it is. But I don't want the things that come along with it, like the sexless marriages. I don't want, okay, if you get divorced, all this stuff that they do to men mainly. Women, they do it to women too in the courtrooms, but mainly men, and it's terrible. So men do not want that smoke. They do not want that responsibility of being in these relationships anymore like that. They'll take what they get, or they just, if they don't get it, they walk away. During the Level Up coach said, yep, they getting tired of fapping.
What's that?
I don't know. You're gonna have to school me on that one, Darren. So and they just don't want the responsibility anymore. It's too much going on. So Miss Marla, have you ever been married before?
Legally?
Yes.
No.
Okay. All right. And okay.
I want to be married, but it's just I think I'm just scared to because of my past, of my son's relationship.
Okay, you said you wanted to get married, but you are afraid to get married because of Which relationship?
My son, father.
The situation that you went through with your son's father makes you
Right.
leery of getting married.
Right.
Okay.
Because I think, it depends on what courtroom you in. I think that would sometimes it depends. If you have a woman judge, some judges will go with the woman sometimes and understand her pain, and some other times, if a man judge, it could go both ways, but sometimes it's not fair in the courtroom, So that's my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of times it's not fair in the courtroom, and I would highly suggest I'm about to start some drama.
Go ahead.
If you decide to get a therapist, get a man therapist.
Hey,
Good looking. Good luck with that.
So she can get re-traumatized all over again, Crete? No way.
Even about that. Get good luck
Use me.
with that.
My feminism is coming out right here, right now. No.
Most of the male therapists
Marla,
look like they sugary as hell.
Get a man therapist.
Oh,
What do you think about that, Mama G?
Yeah, I think that would bring that trauma back.
You saying the man will bring the trauma back?
Mm-hmm.
Not
A
these
white
new
man.
You said a white man will bring the trauma back?
Not these new
Yes,
therapists.
You already know.
because I can still visualize that man. My mom, it's like to this day, I still know what that, everything I've been through my adult life, and I'm still going through things, but I still know what that, I could really pinpoint and tell you what that man looked like. If a police officer would ask me what that man looked like, I would be able to, tell the officer. It's like I said, my mom, she say it's painful, and she always say, if that stuff really happened, she should have went to jail. But I'm like, not necessarily, Mama. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, most of these people on my mother's side are disabled, but that's why I try to give my kids the best, and not to worry about it, and not let a man. And that's what I said when, Christina said, she wouldn't let a man control her. You don't know what a man's gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And because you never know, they would knock you out or anything like.
Oops. Sorry. Miss Marla. Okay. Miss Marla. Now, hold on one second. Thank you for calling Conversations in Crete. May we ask who's calling?
It's Darren.
Hey, what's up, Darren? Hold on one second. Miss Marla was still speaking. I want to say this, Miss Marla. We really appreciate you sharing your story, because maybe you can help others do the same, and maybe release, and then maybe seek some help with that, because it's I can't imagine living that way, the way you're living, where you can remember everything about this person and everything that's deep. That's very deep. And I would definitely suggest starting to seek some help. Now, do you meditate at all?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Very good. Meditation and prayer, or prayer.
Yes, I
and
do.
meditation.
I pray for myself, and it's, for a while it took me, I would say, maybe when I was 14, because I was, and like I said, I said all my business, but I was acting out, what I'm saying, and being a tough cookie. I'm still a tough cookie. At first I didn't want a man around, if at that time I didn't have no kids. I was trying to get pregnant, like this average teenagers nowadays, getting pregnant, but luckily it didn't happen. But, I was trying to find, like I said, I was trying to find love in the wrong places. And, like I said, both of my biological parents was in church. And, I learned about God very early. And, like I said, I didn't want no man around my son at first, but it took a lot of courage of me. All men is not the same.
Right.
And now I have an 8-month daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It took me I would not have a man around my daughter for a period of time. I tell you, her daddy, her stepdad, whoever, but at the same time, I have a good relationship with God. And, it just took me years of like, Marla, you need to pop down a notch. All men was not the same. I have a great support system. And, like I said, I just got back down here in St. Louis in 2020, and my son father thought, I called to holler at him, but that's here and there. But it's just like, he was putting me down a lot, and
right.
Like I said, I left my family and knowing he was going to do a lot of things for me, but actually he didn't. What I'm saying? He kept some of the bargain he said he was going to do because nobody in my family met him.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's just hard, and then people was like, why are you so hard? Why are you this and why are you that? It's just like, dude, I have to, referring to my speech of last week is that I had to put a bold face, for everybody. At first they didn't want to release me out of foster care, and they hold you up to when you turn 21 years old or whatever. But it's just, I had a tough life. If I can talk about my life all day long, if I tell you everything what happened to me when I was younger, all the way to I'm the age I am, which is I'm 32, but I'm 33 in September.
Mm-hmm.
But you would have like, you really were gonna cry. It's like, wow, I would never imagine. Like I said, you can kind of see my picture when I type, in the chat or whatever. But if you actually look into my eyes, you would never thought everything I'm telling you.
That went
I've
on
been
with
through.
you. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
And that's just what it is.
keep praying for strength and definitely, like I said, meditate as well. And
I do.
we really hope that things, turn around for you in the most positive way. And
I'm fast, it's just, I take one day at a time,
right.
and, I have basically, now who I am besides of last week, but I really have I might be 32 years old, but I have an old soul in me. I know do a lot of stuff, but people like, wow, you've been through all this stuff and you know how to do that? Yeah. I had an old soup foster parents throughout, my life, and they taught me things,
Right.
And it's just what it is.
Yeah. Well, keep up the good work. And like I said, definitely, you can stay on the line with us or whatever as we talk on, but definitely, prayer and meditation, definitely. And definitely, get some therapy because as you get older, like right now, yes, you're strong. You're at that age where you can hold a lot. It's almost like you're bottling it up. But as you get older, it's going to be harder to hold. You see what I'm saying?
I kind of agree with you, but kind of don't.
Okay.
DJ Concrete, not trying to waste nobody's time. Like I said, I don't mind therapy, but at the same time, I don't want to relive it. And even though I'm talking about it, because like I said, it's a blessing. I'm still here. Now, I would say St. Louis is okay state. It's not like it was when I was coming up, and because people like me was run away from foster care, and some people didn't, sorry, excuse my French, but didn't give a damn about the foster kids. Pretty much I'm guessing that's pretty much every state. But here in St. Louis, some people do not care. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You know, don't matter what your background is, but it's just what it is. But I appreciate you suggesting going to therapy, but I prefer not to. You know, especially like I said, um, therapy did not work for me in the past, but I try to take it one day at a time, and you know, make sure I tell my kids that I love them, and nobody is not going to hurt you or anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like my son, you know, he sides to my mama, but in my back of my mind, I could imagine, you know, it's like I told my mom, it's like I could imagine doing the things you did to me. You know, I break a lot of chains and, you know, curses in my family, you know, so
Right.
I'm an overcomer. So, but I appreciate the support though.
Yeah, no doubt. We're here to support you or whatever. But I'm just saying, I want you. This is another thing I want you to research. Research people who have been through traumas, but never got help for it. You did seek some help for it, but let's say you didn't. See what happens with them. And I want you to pay close attention to yourself, how you think, what you hear. That way, when you do that research that I'm telling you about, and if you start feeling any symptoms of anything, get yourself into therapy, because it's a known fact that if you do not seek help in reference to it, it's going to get worse. Definitely. So, you know, if you can definitely do that. And like I said, we're always here. We're here. We're here. So shouts out to my brother, Saint Ivan the Terrible. Said, peace, salute. All trauma is delicate. Yes, everyone has their way of handling it. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying, you know, but most times it ends up in the same place. Like, and I'm talking about out of order. Like you can't handle it. It becomes greater than you. So you need to, you know, the therapy to try to help release some of these things so that it won't overcome you.
That's it. And then another way, how my problem I had dealt with it was that I used to write a lot. You know what I'm saying? Probably have to tap back in it or whatever, but that's how I was coping with things, you know. And if therapy didn't work out for me, I always write my feelings down. So, yeah.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, y'all? See,
what's going on,
another solution, you know, besides therapy, is to surround yourself with people who is uplifting. Like, people tend to stay in the house a lot. See, that's the problem. We always tend to stay in the house a lot. We're not getting enough vitamin D, natural sunlight. So if we ever like take the time to go places and meet quality people, so that people that we can look up to, they will also help us put us in a better situation. So I get what she's saying. She's saying about therapy might not help though, but because therapy really don't know you personally. But if you put yourself around a crowd of people where they know you personally, whatever, you see them doing good, you see them leveling up or whatever, that person seems to want to follow their footsteps. If that makes sense.
No, it makes sense, but you have to think about the reason why when you get around these people, why you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Want me to tell you why?
Mm-hmm.
Because these people become therapeutic to you. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yes, you're right. You can put yourself around these people, but they're therapeutic. So that's therapy. But you're going to still
also
need some professional therapy along with that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because I know there's a lot of stuff that I've been looking up and I've been researching and stuff. And I never went to therapy, and it also changed my life for the better and stuff. And I like me, for example, I like to read and also watch other people doing it, like different videos, stuff like that. We living in the digital era or whatnot, so I just apply it to my life. If you see somebody winning and killing it in life and they doing good, just apply it to your life to see whether or not if it's going to work for you or not. Because therapy, you got to make an appointment and all this stuff, and it's if you can do something that's free, try that out first. If not, then try therapy. I mean, people tend to have options or what they can do to better themselves in a situation, if that makes sense.
Again, makes sense, but at the end of the day, we got to remember that the mind can heal almost everything for us. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you see what I'm saying? Because they provide medicines. They got medicines out there. There's things that the mind can heal over medicine. You see what I'm saying? Even cancers. A lot of times your mind can heal that. Heal cancers. So, I mean, you just gotta, I mean, yeah, do your research and you'll see. But now
yeah.
So Darren, what do you think about have you ever been married before, Darren?
Yeah, of course. And then my Jamaica wife, back when I was like 21.
Okay. And so does that have any effect or deter you from being married today?
Well, not really. I mean, that's the way how things are ran in the world today. I mean, the marriage really benefits the woman, to be honest. If it's not going to be anything that's going to be where you want to start a family beneficial for a family, I don't think it's no point in getting married, to be honest.